Hello everybody, last session of the day. Somebody said it's the most important one, yay. Interestingly, I changed my presentation 5 times during the day because there's a lot of controversies, different subjects to talk about, so I wanted to answer the most questions I could. The Ukrainian group is always there because I'm the Ukrainian guy. Thank you. Whee! Yeah, I have a different picture compared to, oh yeah, now it's there. Let's spend a minute here. While another group of 55 people is coming, I've heard, no? Okay, so it's something you could do is visit this website, which is ivan.gg, and for everybody to get a better acquaintance with the presentation, I put a link there for the presentation, so you could download and so on, because I'm not sure that the screens are big enough so you would understand all the data. Right? It's 1 more minute for the invitations. Yeah, did you go up there and say, hey, come down now, everybody? No? Yeah, I know, it's a minute. I'm selling. Okay, let's start. Hopefully it's at least a recording, because I want to be popular. I like esports and whatever. So yeah, my name is Ivan, if you please, founder of Esport Charts. Also the first programmer of Esport Charts, the main investor of Esport Charts, so I believe it is an important tool. I wanted to share a bit with you about the numbers that have changed during the last 2 years in the whole streaming and esports in particular, so let's start with that. The whole streaming market in the last 2 years, easy to guess, the start of the pandemic, somewhere around here, April, May 2020, very strong growth in views and streamers, which retained to this day, so it's a huge boost, around 3 times to the whole streaming market during last year. Streaming has not lost viewers and active influencers after the recession of restrictions, so we're going to work. Streaming still remains. The record quarter was the spring of 2021, celebrating 1 year of the pandemic. It created 500,000 or so new active streamers, while averaging 10 times more than a year ago. So around plus 100K, 100,000 streamers each day compared to last year. Probably we just discussed it with Linette, we will do it later, an era of unscripted content production. Despite, weirdly, games in general gain huge growth during the pandemic, but started to lose players a lot. Streaming remains very, very, very popular. So hopefully a lot of people open it up for them and are a fan now. Talking about esports compared to that. Obviously, esports have also experienced huge growth. The number of broadcast hours increased by 50%, around 10,000 more hours in the second quarter of 2020. 10,000 more hours streamed. That's a very, very big amount. The peak of esports viewership achieved in a year after that due to Dota 2 Any Major, one of the largest Dota events this year, mid-season and League of Legends, the Valorant's World Cup, all of that is crazy popular, though all 3 most popular events were offline. So the bigger, more popular are offline events with obviously better looking stages and so on. In the third quarter of the year, many events went back to offline, and that created a way bigger amount of content. Though the amount of airtime decreased significantly due to pricing and logistics. Unlike online events, this is way more expensive, so takes more time, less airtime, but still we're facing a potential record-breaking Q4 of this year, thanks to Dota International, League of Legends Worlds, and CSGO Major being within this month. So 1 month, 3 world championships. Yeah, there we go. Talking about the major competitors in the esports market 2020, League of Legends remains a confident winner throughout all the year. This is 2020. The third quarter for Dota and CSGO had a decline due to the cancellation of their world championships. No international last year. The international this year, though. But LOL had the finals of regional leagues at the same time, while those were cancelled. So huge numbers for League of Legends. CSGO numbers were saved due to the transition to active online events. Way more hours of airtime for Blast, ESL, Pro League, CSGO, RMR. So they gathered a lot of viewers where we can see the growth, the saving growth for CSGO. Yeah, and they had a 3-year record in peak viewers around second quarter of 2020. The amount of events produced a month became more stable while being restricted online only. Like I said, easier and cheaper to make content without huge stages and flights, logistics. That equals more content, more viewership. In terms of, yeah, I'm not sure that my presentation corresponds to that one. That is why I'm checking every slide. In terms of streaming, we don't observe a big competition with Valorant or Warzone yet. In the upcoming years, we believe their growth impact is imminent. So it's going to be a Valorant and Warzone next year, trust me. Valorant is already very popular in streaming, but has 20 times less hours watched in its esports, and that will probably change next year a lot. Talking about, and this TV is very, very weirdly placed. Talking about platforms' popularity. Some must still think it's only Twitch, but it's not. Twitch is dominating in 3 regions out of 6. This is excluding China. For obvious reasons, there's no Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, or whomever in China. We have a very different research for that region. But YouTube and Facebook are actively growing in different markets, especially Southeast Asia. By the way, have you seen 15% in others? Any ideas? I believe nobody knows what others are, and this is Nemo, Trovo, even TikTok is already in esports. They're very big in Southeast Asia due to heavy mobile esports engagement, I would say. Most of those applications are pre-installed or very popular in the region. Oh yeah, this is the slides I mentioned before. That's the builders of fourth quarter results in esports. Just 1 day of the Dota International and League Worlds. This is October 7th, old presentation. League is 2.2 million peak today, around Fnatic match, while the international, Dota International, is around 1.5 million, so 1.5 million. Then do not intersect much. So the audiences are very different. Only 6% of the audiences watch one another, which is weird for very similar games, I would say. So we're talking almost 4 million peak esports viewers today at just 2 simultaneous events. Again, shout out to Sam Matthews. He's around here. He was just mentioning that his team is playing League of Legends Worlds. His team is playing Dota International right now. So if he wouldn't have been on stage, it would have been even more interesting. And hopefully that will mean that Fnatic might be hitting the most popular team of the year due to that 2 events together. Current all Twitch not esports record is 6.5 million lifetime peak. And that can be broken when League of Legends Worlds will meet CSGO major viewers around 6th of November. So all Twitch in total can be broken with only 2 events in peaks. So it's going to be around 6 million people watching 2 events. 6 million. Meanwhile, in another universe, fighting games, as a niche example of a gaming group altogether, are peaking at around 0.5% of the same audience, maybe 1% of the audience. This is 10 to 20,000 viewers simultaneously, less than 500,000 hours watched compared to 600 million on the other games. But talking about new audiences and opportunities, I wanted to mention that this is an interesting example and a bold approach, very much needed to build up the whole market. We Play Guys created the Fighting League, which tripled hours watched for all the fighting game streaming markets. and brought a lot of attention to the disciplines, together with grassroots news streaming, best practices, and the development of amateur audiences. I believe this is something to be done to create 10 times the esports market next year together, because for me, $1 billion is a very, very, very small amount. Somebody's under expecting, I don't know. So 10 billion esports is my motto for next year, at least. Hopefully we can achieve it together. And hopefully that is not a sporadical budget injection, but a well-prepared initiative with years of coming events and giving a birth to a new market of, for example, fighting games. And trust me, there's a lot of other games in need of giving proper esports, I don't know, birth. We at Esport Charts are working hard to promote this data-driven market-building approach for brands and partnerships. We do a lot of tailored analytics and consulting, and we give access to our dashboards sometimes. This is the access. So you have to email and convince guys who are, by the way, there. And we do have pro access to our websites, which is $30 and $300 per month. This is the promo codes working throughout the esports bar that will give discounts to whomever here is present here. Commercial break over. Back to trends. Yeah, so this is what we will be discussing within the panel right now. And this is what we're suggesting to start doing probably to make that 10 times the esports market. And first is support and create your communities, rely on audience, help them create better, maybe even you branded content. Pay attention to mobile gaming, like Mobile Legends, Wild Rift, a lot of mobile shooters, PUBG Mobile and so on. Even chess. I think we need new board games, live board games, easier games, which are harder to cheat with AI compared to chess, for example. Esports to actual TV go is that kind of game. So shorter, very predictable in terms of timing, matches, 3 to maybe 15 to maybe 40 minutes. Not like Dota, because Dota finals is going to be, I don't know, 3 to 10 hours. Hard to estimate. Not a very good TV type of content. Hello, new markets. I would say India, very big and important. I think we have a talk about it tomorrow. I would also point out a lot about Africa, Latam, maybe even Pakistan, if someone is interested. Pretty big country. I'm pretty sure that you've missed Warzone. Don't miss it. It might be hard to get into Valorant, but everybody should. Pretty big discipline. Yeah, so this is, I believe this is it. And with that, I want to invite my panelists to the stage. Can we start with Linette? Go. Linette from ZDF Enterprises, the person who we're going to be talking about the non-scripted audiences, right? Stefan, can I do? No? Let's go. The ProSieben, 71 Sports, esports.com, the best name in esports market, I think, esports.com, right? I believe you should be having most of the initiative we're discussing there. It needs to be a division on your website. What to do if you're an esports person. Maria Carmen from MediaPro, the company, a big company that I've heard is actively operating in 50 plus countries, right? Doing esports, which was a surprise to me. And trust me, in esports, it's very hard to surprise me since I kind of know most of the stuff. They are operating in 17 countries in terms of esports, and that's big. So yeah, hopefully we can make esports way bigger together. And out of what I've seen on today's sessions, I want to try to, after the intros, I want to try to stick to some larger market suggestions, like what can we do, what can we suggest other people to do, and how can we attract other very important VIPs from esports market present here in the nearest 1 or 2 days, so we can build this bigger esports together. Take your microphones and let's do the introduction. I'm not the best host in terms of introducing you guys because you obviously know more. Oh, really, Sam? How? You missed the call, Sam. Really? You have an orange seat now. Sam Butler from Antstream. Obviously, let's start with Sam with your own intro because Sam missed the call.
Hello, my name's Sam Butler from Antstream Arcade. We are a cloud gaming platform specializing in retro video games, and I must apologize for my voice.
So, cloud gaming platform specializing in retro games.
In retro video games.
Name two.
Pac-Man, Space Invaders.
Prince of Persia.
We do have Prince of Persia.
Or I'm too retro for you.
And we have the original Mortal Kombat in arcade format.
That's big, Sam.
It's awesome.
Are you popular, profitable?
We are, indeed. We're hurtling towards 500,000 users, and we'll probably be up around 1 million by the sort of middle of next year.
That's a very, very big one. Are you going to be... I mean, what was the choice about retro games? Are you competitive to the other cloud
No one else
gaming
is doing
platforms?
it. No, we see ourselves as more of a kind of complementary to the AAA cloud gaming platforms like Stadia and Black Nut.
Yeah.
Because nobody else was doing retro, and we provided for the first time all of those games on a device agnostic format.
Device agnostic, I mean, you can draw the game?
You can play it on any. You can play it on any device, touchscreen, a set-top box, PC, and we're soon to do web deployment as well, so you can just play it in a browser.
Wow, that's an interesting one. I'm sad that you missed the call. First of all, I'm a 501 user, 500,000 after tonight.
I will do you an account personally.
Yeah. You've written down my code. Now it's your turn. Maria Carmen.
Hello, good afternoon, evening, almost for everybody.
Tell everybody a little bit about MediaPro. And
Okay.
Trust me, I was excited. Hopefully they are also.
Okay, let me first introduce the big company, which is MediaPro Group. MediaPro Group, it's a media company. We are operating all around the world. We make production and distribution, we make sport rights management, and we create content. Basically, those were the fundamentals of the company, of the group, and we addressed the esports like 4 years ago. We have invested a lot, not just money, but also effort and strategy and talent on the esports scene, building a company which is LVP, that basically organizes competitions, professional competitions, mostly in Europe and Latin America. We are right now, as you said before, in about 17 countries operating our own properties, our own competitions, our own professional leagues, but also third-party ones. Okay, so we are in Europe, like in Belgium or Portugal, operating with the La Liga Portuguesa or the Belgium League, talking about soccer. Talking about FIFA, we are operating La Liga competition, we are operating the CONMEBOL competition, but then we have our own leagues. The most known is Superliga in Spain, but we are also in Mexico, Argentina, Ecuador, Colombia, Chile, I don't know, 6 countries in Central America, so we are all around. And this is complemented with also a strategy about content production and distribution with our own platform. I hope that UVID, which is our own platform, could be one of these 15% that are wrapping.
So you mean streaming platform,
yeah,
right?
This is a streaming platform. It's a multi-platform composed by pay TV channels, linear channels, but also VOD content disposed on an OTT. Offered to the audience in different programs and capabilities and different packages for free, for subscription, for TV, let's say pay-per-view also formats. So we are also covering the content distribution through UVID, okay?
What are the numbers, by the way? Do you know the numbers on your platforms?
The numbers.
If you're talking about, I don't know, Spanish or Portuguese language esports tournaments, right?
Yeah, we are talking about pure esports content distribution. We are leaders on Spanish-speaking regions. So if you go to Twitch audiences and you filter by Spanish-speaking audiences, we are the leaders. We have a market share of about 70% of the global market. So that means that we have a good leadership. If we look at UBIT, UBIT was launched 2 years ago and is the only platform operating in Spanish globally, and is the only platform where you can find diverse entertainment content, including esports. We have doubled in the last 9 months the number of unique users in the platform, which is amazing because it has been more or less occurred organically, and we have good feelings for the next months and for the next stages of the platform, and we are growing and growing every month. Okay?
By organically, you mean?
Organically, I mean that we create content, we create content marketing around taking into account the content creators, which is very, very important for us. And audience is coming to the platform without a big marketing campaign.
What's the name of the platform?
UBIT.
UBIT?
UBIT.
UBIT.
UBIT. So you find UBIT. So you win with UBIT.
Yeah, that's a good one. And it excites me much because most of the people would think that LATAM or other markets are underdeveloped, and I can hear that you've been working there for 4 years.
Yes.
So hopefully you're already developing in them a lot. In terms of, I don't know, trends or help or maybe tools you have.
Yeah.
Which tournament platform you use for your events, for example?
Our own platform. We have also.
So it's both streaming and tournaments.
Yes, we have a platform, a property platform called Arena GG, where we organize the tournaments. And then we have TV sets all around those countries where I mentioned before. And we deployed live streamings every day on Twitch or YouTube, depending on the country, as you said before. And then we dispose VOD content on UBIT and all the platforms surrounding the environment. We have been in Latin America for the last 2.5 years because we started in Spain. We saw that organically most of the audience coming to consume the Spanish content were from those countries in Latin America. And then we decided to go there and investing in our own competitions in every of these countries. We have been seeing how the audience has been growing and growing every year. We are growing in a two-digit figure. I'm not talking about growing the 10%, I'm talking about growing year per year, the 50% in most of the countries. And we expect that it's going to be sustainable for the future and even more. Okay, so I think that once we recover the capability of producing live events also, it will be growing the engagement of the audience with the competitions, with the talents, with the content creators, and everything will be boost in a certain way. Okay?
Did you manage to convince players to pay for participation in the tournament?
Yes, we are not charging for participating on the tournaments because we mostly operate professional tournaments. We also operate amateur tournaments, but they are always supported by brands who wants to activate.
So it's
campaign.
Marketing and sport sponsorships.
Yes. So what we produce are professional competitions, and there we don't charge for the key audience. In UBIT, we have explored different pay methods. Most of the content is offered for free right now, but then we have the mode of the pay TV platform, the pay TV live channels, which are being engaged through cable operators or pay TV platforms in Latin America and Spain. And then we have also tested during this year different modes of subscription, and we have even tested this summer, we have tested the pay-per-view mode. Okay, we have acquired some rights for, not for esports, but for something that is very similar in terms of the target audience, which is the freestyle competitions. Okay, so for the first time, we offer freestyle competitions under a pay-per-view mode, and thousands of subscribers or users.
I'm an esports person, just asking, what's a freestyle competition? You do whatever you want, or?
No. Freestyle is a music competition.
Got it.
So for the rest of the
Yeah,
audience.
that's a very, very interesting intro. Stefan, sorry for taking you back so long, because that was actually pretty exciting. What about you? I know that it is also very exciting, and I've said that esports.com is the brand. What are you planning to do with it?
Yeah, it is a pretty good brand when it comes to traffic, Google algorithms and everything, so it definitely works very well. But in the end of the day, it's not only that, it helps. Yeah, but I think we need to go a few steps back. Like, I mean, we are coming from a broadcasting company, so we are ProSieben Set1 and like doing everything in esports around that. And I would like listening to what you said, Maury. I would say that we are doing quite the contrary what you do, and we don't believe at all in pay. In esports, we believe esports is a free market. Of course, there are some players where you can actually have a distribution deal, a B2B, but in our world, and we tried a lot, we see that esports is much smaller as we all think. Gaming is much bigger than we all think. Pay doesn't work at all. And last but not least, it's not sufficient to have a digital platform only, or a TV or an OTT only, but doing it cross-platform and also including events. So this is how we approach the topic. We're having a weekly TV show in free-to-air. We have some live things. You just talked about Call of Duty. So we have a very good deal with Activision Blizzard, which is one of the best deals, and the reach is significantly higher than we would have expected in Germany. So we're having about 500,000 people watching just this one live event on TV, which comes in addition to whatever you see on Twitch. So a few things there, but we also pulled back from live streaming in esports because we were expecting like 3-4 years ago that this is the big thing and people will watch live esports events in TV, but they don't. Yeah? They don't. And they don't watch it on an OTT platform. They watch it on Twitch, they watch it on YouTube and all those.
Did you ask them why? It's been 3 years. Why?
No, I don't need to. They have different needs. They have different preferences. So it is completely clear that they are following their way, how they have ever consumed esports. And like from now, we started as a purely esports focused, with a purely esports focused vision, and now we are at about most likely 80% gaming content, focusing on gamings and on tutorials and everything, because that is the stuff that works. And we said as a target, don't compete with Twitch or YouTube, because you're definitely gonna lose. You can actually build stuff which just comes on top to that. Also content-wise, do stuff that come on top of it. And yeah, this is how we approach the market, and we approach it differently.
I think, well, no, it's not so different. I mean, what we do is content has to be everywhere and has to be accessible from many different ways. And we are exploring all those different ways. So we are also offering, so we have like 14 free live channels on Twitch every day. So we are producing about 3,500 hours of live streaming for free in Twitch every day. But we think also that there's a 360 environment surrounding this entertainment content, because at the end of the day, we understand this like entertainment. And entertainment about esports is also about the game creators, the content creators, the players, the teams, the lifestyle of everything. And we can create content oriented to be entertainment content in different formats that maybe can be monetized. And that's what we do at UBIT. So at UBIT, you will find competitions in the pay TV channels, but you will have entertainment content surrounding all those competitions in different formats, short form video that can be monetized, or that can be monetized not just for the subscriptions of the users, but also for sponsorships, by sponsorships or by advertising or whatever. So I would say we have to explore all the different channels to connect with the audiences. We have to create any kind of different format to connect with those audiences, knowing the code, the language, the sensibility, so everything.
You mean the delivery is not important, you need to connect to the audience?
Yes.
It's two different
Sam.
audiences. Sorry, excuse me. It's two different audiences, Stefan. I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to work for an esports TV channel, and the people that will sit and watch 8 hours of the Dota 2 International are not watching TV, and they never will. But the entertainment, the gaming entertainment content, they're the people that you can engage on TV.
I mean, you probably a Dota or the international fan, which I am very platform agnostic. I don't care where I want to watch. So if it's a TV, I expect it to show me the international. But in terms of platforms, do you feel like they might be a competitor or a partner in content creation? Since if, for example, you spend a budget or you're working with the sports or esports, no difference, you spend budgets on creating the content, obviously, and they are also, I don't know, parasiting in a bit because they're making their own ads on top of your content, right? They're sharing or not, depending on your agreement, but are they helping you produce or only to broadcast it? Then maybe creating your own platform is a good idea. Trying to stream to ProSieben's satellite network is a good idea. Selling it to Netflix.
Most of the time, a good idea.
In the long wait in the traditional queue, Linette, Netflix is my favorite keyword in your introduction, but what else? Let's try you. Let's hear you.
I'm not working for Netflix.
I know. But you always start with,
Yeah.
Netflix is the sixth
No.
word, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm working for ZDF Enterprises, which is a distribution company of ZDF, the public broadcaster, Germany. And I'm selling unscripted content to all VOD platforms globally, including Netflix and Amazon, YouTube, you name it. Not Twitch so far. So we explored the esports world. I think we started almost 2.5 years ago.
Is esports an unscripted content, by the way?
Of course, esports is unscripted,
Just
so
curious.
I'm in charge. So what we found is that the audience, I was surprised and hooked by the audience, that the entertainment and the hype around it. It's meant in a positive way, so the hype. Because you don't have this audience present on the usual suspects like Amazon and the clients I work with. So also the broadcasters at ZDF has problems entertaining anyone under the age of 60. So we're approaching this audience, but the problem I found is how do you get the esports community to watch on platforms and even television? Because I can't imagine a 14-year-old or even a 25-year-old still watching linear television. No one really does it anymore. And even the traditional, I call them traditional because I work with them, even the traditional clients, like the big names, they lose the young generation because why would they watch anything on Netflix if the algorithm doesn't really show what they are interested in? So what we faced is what I really wanted to do is kind of build a bridge in between those two worlds, but actually I failed for now.
Try again.
Yeah, I will. That's why I'm here.
But it is a challenging thing. I mean, we tried the same thing as you just discussed, yeah?
Yeah, the challenge is everyone is really interested in trying out the topic and building new slots, building new audiences, but actually investing in producing it. Everyone just told me, do you have a ready-made? I will buy it. But investing in the production is not a thing anyone really wants to do at this point.
And I think this is also what we discussed about. I mean, everybody can achieve reach. I think everybody here can actually produce something and put it on any channel. Yeah, but the question is really, in the end of the day, like my job is to earn money, not to get eyeballs and eyeballs and eyeballs. I need to, in the end of the day, bring cash into the company. So for me, each and every content piece needs to have a positive contribution margin, at least in the midterm. And I think this is why we're doing that stuff as we do, and we stopped a lot of things. As I just said, we did a lot of things around FIFA, where we limited. We did a lot of things about live streaming of ESL content and stuff like this, which we actually pulled back and found new ways where we can actually have a USP. And you need to have a USP for the fans, for the viewers, in order to attract them. Otherwise, you're just a platform which is next to the big ones, as Ivan has just shown, and you don't have a chance. That's the reality. So you need to earn money, and how you do that, you have different content which suits to your platform. And don't do the same content like everybody does and just put it on your platform and hope that people come and watch, because they won't. Yeah?
Do you feel like a person from not very endemic market? Do you feel like esports is very different? Do you feel like, I don't know, 5 different tournament organizers are making something different? Or to you, a non-very esports engaged person, it is all the same? What would you suggest? Because our panel is called Trends and What to Expect. I would rename it to Trends and What to Do to expect something.
I think you need to focus. As you have shown, the market is so damn fragmented, and it's only a few, very few good tournaments, leagues, that you can actually focus on if you want to reach the mainstream and if you want to reach a broader mass. So leave away the rest. Like, there's a lot of things. You just ignore them and focus on them. And this is what we do. We need to focus on the few things that we know that work, and we learn every day, obviously, and then focus. Focus and then find slots where you can actually earn money with, by doing it in an ecosystem way, like having TV, like also what you say, like TV, digital, social, Twitch, YouTube, events, and everything around it, because you need to have those engagement points. Don't leave it all to the platforms you show, Twitch, YouTube, etc.
I think also
So
it's
focus.
a process of matureness. So we are in an emerging market. It's normal that this is fragmented. It will be consolidated. Maybe in 2-3 years, our discussion will be fully different. It's true that we have to focus, but it's
There
true
needs
that
to be a consolidator, just saying. I keep hearing 2 to 3 years for 20 years now.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
If we're talking about consolidation, it's not an organic process. Somebody needs to do it.
That's right. That's right. And I think this is going to be happening in the next 2-3 years.
Hopefully with some hands around here, right?
So we are, for example, we are exploring more markets. We are exploring alliances. We are exploring ways to replicate faster and better, if we can, the model we have right now testing some markets. So what I mean consolidated is meaning that some of the very, very micro, small companies will be part of larger projects, and maybe we suddenly discover some diamonds which will be organically developed. But I think that this will be the process. The emerging market has a lot of opportunities. It's true that we have to focus, but it's true also that we have to capture all those opportunities.
Well, that is that we don't have an actual example, I would say. So for now, all of the markets are emerging in esports. We don't have, I don't know, UK, which have been developing football for 100 years and now shows the example, right? In esports, there's no such thing. A lot of failure, not very much profits, and so on. So
Yes.
what is, Sam, I think you can have a suggestion. What to do?
I think that emerging technologies like cloud gaming and lowering the barrier to entry for people in gaming in general, but also the emergence of things like hyper-casual esports, mobile esports, will help to find new audiences and, like I said, lower the barrier for entry to people in those emerging markets, India for one, as you mentioned.
Definitely, and this is an upcoming trend. I'm very sure about it, since, I don't know, 5G will give access
Yes.
for people who doesn't have a computer. For example, why Indonesia, Southeast Asia is crazy popular with mobile games. The reason is that they don't have computers.
Yes, exactly.
And hopefully with tablets or something, we will give them access to Dotas and League of Legends PC-wise. This is definitely a trend, and we need to push it forward. How?
You know, things like accessibility to affordable smartphones, like Jio in India, for example, 400 million 4G subscribers and a $20 smartphone.
Yeah. India is a very exciting market. I don't know, but how would you how would you suggest to change it? How can we attract 400 million Indians into esports?
Trying, so if you find out, you let me know.
Prince of Persia is not very esports, joking, but still.
I've been working on it for a year.
What titles are you guys getting into cloud platforms, cloud gaming, in terms of competition?
So we don't just have the games on the platform, we also have custom challenges and hyper-casual esports tournament system, and we've found that since we introduced that, we've shifted from an older kind of nostalgic gamer audience, like some 25 to 40. But the moment we introduced that hyper-casual esports, that shifted almost entirely to 16 to 25. And obviously you select those titles which have the most potential to make those challenges super sticky, super addictive challenges. The people that get the #1 spots on the leaderboards for these challenges, some of them play them like 2,000-3,000 times.
That leads us probably me to an idea that actually a potential esports athlete, for me, hyper-casual gaming can never be esports because I'm a Dota player, you know? Very hard to imagine that. Though the development of a new athlete is a pretty hard one, so you have to catch it. Dota still carries its community, so I will teach my son, you know, how to play Dota. This is how they work, because a very crazy, super hard game, and eventually when the community will be bored into getting more players, it will die. Hyper-casual gaming is going to change that.
We're talking about completely new audience.
But I want games to be hard. I want them to be hard. And probably starting that up is with the influencers creating new communities and so on. We're still unlocking, I believe, at least 500 million people to get into esports. And probably this leads to our previous discussion with Linette, with this whole new streamers, new influencers, content creation. So if we hope that they will be creating proper quality, very regular, good content, and it's 100K new streamers almost daily during the pandemic, how can we make them stick? Because out of what we've researched, most of them just get bored without any viewers or without any money, even if they get viewers. Maybe we can create a guideline or a book that will, some suggestions at least. So I would, and that's something we can do and share and expect. If we create 3 points, you can suggest them right now, so we can share it among 100,000 streamers with esports charts, which we can do. How can we rely on them creating better sellable content for you guys?
So the problem is that the traditional media people don't even know what streamers do.
Yeah, and streamers too.
That's the first
This
point.
is freestyle, as somebody called it.
No, it's, so I would say generally you can compare it to user-generated content you would find on social media. This is how I would explain it to my colleagues, because yeah, entering the esports world and all the tournaments and all the leagues and all the games, as a non-esports person, you don't understand a thing.
Which esports content will be an easy sell?
Excuse me?
Which esports related content will be an easy sell for you?
None.
Like I've said, something we need to change.
No, the thing I thought of is what we sell on television and to the platform is really high quality content, and the audience...
Probably very expensive.
Totally, yeah, that's the biggest point. But the content we sell is always made for the audience on that platform, and as the whole environment gets more fragmented, the niche, and don't get me wrong,
but
I don't want to.
You started your intro with that everybody's ready to buy
Yes.
ready to get content. So if we suggest
But
100,000 streamers the types of content that is easier to get, they will start producing it for you for free, imagining that there's a sell.
There's a lack of knowledge there when it comes to the traditional way of producing unscripted content when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to how does a documentary work, how does content work that the usual audience, the traditional audience wants to see. So me, myself, and I'm in the esports world for 2.5 years now, I don't understand the content that is produced by the streamers, which doesn't mean
Same.
which doesn't mean that
We need
it's
to make a
bad.
change.
Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure there's great content.
Hot tubs,
Of
you
course
mean?
there is. The numbers tell it. But for the traditional viewers, it's really hard to understand what's going on. So I think the best way to build that bridge is start conversations with professional documentary or unscripted producers to learn what they are doing, just as Alvaro said it before in the panel.
Yeah, and can we make
yeah.
it a actual suggestion? So we're wrapping things up, and I want them with a bunch of statements like we should. And if you're saying people need to be more connected, how? With the producers or documentary writers or whomever, how?
So
I
we
can
should
publish
be more
an
connected.
article.
we should continue the conversation of what the needs of the audience are, because you need to focus on what the audience needs in order to produce what they want to watch, and this is what the platforms will buy.
Got it, Stefan. Ideas,
So I need to start with we should, right? So first of all, I think we should stop throwing around big numbers which don't exist. But everybody in this room is probably here because they read all those big numbers. So they don't exist, but they are made up by somebody who wants to sell stuff. So I personally believe we definitely, all of us, need to stop with that. And second of all, we need to get esports and gaming closer together, because this is where the truth is, in my opinion.
And even streaming, I would say, in general streaming also.
Yeah, but also beyond streaming, also, to your point, adding more content, which is non-streaming content, like non-live content. Doing some shoulder content, doing, I don't know, casting shows or whatsoever, that you can actually combine it with this big entertainment world. And then we have actually a nice, broader product on top to what we have anyway, and we shouldn't all fight for the same piece of cake.
Yeah. Maria Carmen?
Yes, so I think the audience is there, the figures are there, so no doubt on that. The challenge is to understand and to get how to monetize them. I think that maybe what we have to address is to understand that the esports scene in general is part of an entertainment industry which is larger, which there could be other synergies we are not still exploring. I think that the relationship of the brands and advertisers of the traditional industry cannot be approached like that. We have to figure out and we have to design new forms of relationship between brands, content creation, and content platform distributors. And once we reach that, I think we will get mainstream ecosystems which will be able to be monetized. And I think the challenge is to get more, getting out of the hardcore and building a more open ecosystem, both in creation and distribution, that can be attractive for brands and distributors.
Yeah, definitely, because some say that we have 500 million esports audience worldwide. How can we manage to get only $1 billion out of them? That's definitely,
right.
We're doing something wrong and we need to change that.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, Sam.
I'll keep mine short and sweet, but I agree with a lot of what Maria just said. I think we also need to make esports appear to a non-esportsy audience a little bit more accessible and less exclusive. It can appear quite sort of impenetrable and indecipherable, I think, to a lay audience. And by the way, Linette, just to make you feel a little bit better, I worked in esports for 4 years, and I still don't really know how League of Legends works.
25 years here. It was not called esports yet
What
back
the
then.
hell is going on?
I called it a computer game competition in 96-ish. So probably to wrap it up, thanks for a great session. We just need to work more and better. I think gather up, maybe more and better, and stick to something doable, not just generic discussions, right? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.